Hello soulful babes and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're enjoying the new viewing experience, the new recording area. I'm very excited. I'm hoping that it'll bring a little bit more chill, a little bit more casual conversation vibes to this. So let me know if you vibe it. So today I wanted to talk about my dieting experience and my dieting to intuitive eating journey. Because today my relationship with my body is magical. My body is like my best friend, my ride or die bestie. It's like, you know how when you have a bad day and you just want to run to your bestie and talk about it, or when you've had a good day and you want to celebrate with your bestie, or when you're just, I don't know, confused with everything that's going on, such as right now in the world, and you just need to talk it out with someone. For me, my body is my bestie, and I do all of those things with my body. My body is the first place I run to when I need advice, and it gives the best advice, including nutrition and movement and health, but also emotional things. My body is so wise. It is incredibly wise, and I feel like I'm only scraping the surface of discovering the wisdom in my body. And this is the kind of relationship that I want to help you and everyone in the world and my clients to have with their bodies, because it is just so incredible. It's like I always feel at home. I remember I was dating this guy once, and we were at the spa, and I was like, see, don't you think that this is my natural habitat? And he was like, you're always in your own natural habitat. And I take that as such a compliment, because to me that means that I always feel at home, because I do feel like I'm at home because I'm connected to my body. But my relationship with my body wasn't always like that. I used to be so disconnected to my body. At 15, I did my first diet, the lemon cayenne pepper diet, where you just drink lemon juice and cayenne pepper for 7 days, because apparently a magazine said that Beyonce had lost 7 kilograms or whatever in a week just by doing that. And it's so funny looking back now, but that was the reality. I wanted to shrink my body when I was 15 because I felt very uncomfortable in it. I felt like there was something wrong with it because it didn't look like the girls in the magazine. I didn't have a flat stomach. I wasn't heroin chic thin like Kate Moss, and that was the vibe at those times. And so that started 5 years of yo-yo dieting, my weight going down and then up and down and up and then down and up every time I started a diet, and then failed it because diets, they weren't sustainable. Any of these attempts to lose weight weren't sustainable. And every time I would give up a diet, I'd feel so ashamed, and I'd feel like such a failure. And I thought that there was something wrong with me. There was something wrong with my body. And I remember I used to wear like baggy clothes to hide my body because I just didn't feel good in it. Eventually, a friend had asked me out to go running with her, and I was like, absolutely not. Sounded like the worst thing ever. And eventually she wore me down, and I was like, okay, I'll go with you. And I fell in love with the endorphins. The endorphins I felt after running. Before, I just find pleasure through food. I hadn't really done a lot of movement up until that point. I didn't grow up in a family that prioritized movement. As a daughter of migrant parents, their number one priority was survival. And so I started running every day that summer. And I did eventually lose weight, inevitably, if you're moving your body that much and you hadn't moved your body before. And because I felt so fresh after running, I wanted to continue that feeling of freshness. So I just started naturally looking up ways to eat healthier. And so that's how I kind of started getting into nutrition. I just wanted to know how I could continue to feel good, to feel this energized, this amazing feeling in my body. And around that time was when we were applying for uni courses. And so I applied for dietetics and I got in. And so I started down that path. But the first couple of years, I was really going down the other side of the coin of diet culture, where weight loss wasn't just for aesthetics, but it was for health. And I believe that being in a smaller body meant that you were healthier. And so I would count calories, I would weigh my food. And there was this quinoa salad that I made like every day without fail. But I would kind of avoid eating my mum's food, my cultural foods, because I was like, that's not healthy. That's not vegetables and clean. So I started becoming disconnected from my cultural foods, and I would eat my quinoa salad while my family was enjoying their delicious Vietnamese food that my mum had prepared. As I was starting uni, I lived on campus, so I was cooking for myself, doing everything for myself. There was a gym on site, and that was amazing because I started going more regularly. And I got to a point where I was the thinnest that I had ever been. And I remember we had a ball, and my sister, she was like, "You look so skinny." And I felt like that was the best compliment ever. That felt like it validated me as a person. It made me feel more worthy. But at the same time, I became more and more depressed. I became so anxious. I was having panic attacks. And at a point, I was so immobilized that I couldn't get out of bed anymore. I couldn't get up and go to the gym anymore. I couldn't go and make myself food anymore. I was at rock bottom, the skinniest I'd ever been. So many people thought, "Oh, you look so healthy, you look so good." But who asked how I truly was? No one. I was, what society and diet culture would say is healthy in terms of my body shape and size, but internally I wasn't healthy. And at some point after that, I decided to take a year of absence from uni, and I decided I was going to travel for 10 months the next year. I don't know what it was that drove me to believe that that was what I needed, but I did it. And let me tell you, those 10 months changed my life. And the reason why may surprise you. Those 10 months traveling solo meant that I did not have to meet other people's expectations of who I was, who I should be, what I should look like, how I should eat, how I should exercise, what is a good and worthy and beautiful person. I broke free out of all of these restraints that I felt like were crushing me. And what is depression? Depression. Depressing. Do you see what I mean? It's depressing me. It's depressing who I truly am. I didn't even know who I was. And that is what traveling allowed me to explore. Who is Amanda? Who do I want to be? I didn't even know who I was, so I wanted to explore who that was. And in those 10 months, I felt an insane amount of pleasure and joy that wasn't derived from other people's opinions of me. That wasn't derived of my body shape, size, weight. That wasn't derived of what I ate and how I exercised. My life was no longer measured by external sources of validation. I was just living my life and experiencing joy and pleasure. And I was like, well, this, how, I'm lost for words. I was truly lost for words. There were um, so many moments where I was like, how is this my life? I spent 6 months on an island in called Utila. It's a part of Honduras, and it's in the Mesoamerican region, so like Caribbean Sea vibes. And I was scuba diving there. I was doing my dive master training, and then I worked there all in 6 months. And it was the most incredible experience. One of the most incredible experiences of my life. And so when I came back here, I was like, all of this is a facade. All of this is a lie. All of these rules that we live by are a lie. And so I stopped subscribing to diet culture. I stopped being so critical of my body shape and size. I was honestly still a little bit depressed because I still lived in the system and I still had to finish uni. My whole dietetics degree, I wasn't sure that I wanted to be a dietitian because there was something off about it and I didn't know what. But in the last week of uni, Fiona Sutherland, the mindful dietitian, came and did a talk about health at every size. And I was like, whoa, for the first time in my 4-year degree, I can actually see myself as a dietitian. And now, on reflection, I realize that it's because this health at every size approach humanized dietetics. It humanized people. It wasn't just about calculating people's BMIs and calories that they should eat and telling them what they should eat so that they can reach the calorie count. But it was actually about looking at people as whole people, looking at how the systems affect people's health outcomes and supporting people from a holistic lens. I was still traumatized by my 4 years of being in university. So I jet off and I became a scuba instructor for a year, and that was amazing. But then COVID hit and I came back to Melbourne and I decided to start my business, and I knew I was going to be a non-diet intuitive eating dietitian. And of course, if I was going to teach it, I needed to really practice it and embody it myself. And so I started really applying the principles and reconnecting with my body. And this led me on this journey to where I am today. It led me to my deep healing journey, where I realized that I was not connected to my emotions at all. I couldn't even name my emotions. My whole life I had been avoidant of my emotions. Again, immigrant parents didn't learn to connect with their emotions, so I didn't learn to either. And that was a huge breakthrough. And from that, I did some energy and spiritual work as well. And I learned that I could process my emotions and heal past traumas through my body, through connecting with my body. And I learned that my emotions are actually an important part of my health. It's not just the physical things that we do. It's not just our mental health, but our emotional health as well. And often our emotional health drives our physical habits and behaviors. And it impacts our mental health. Because when I was not expressing my emotions, when I was not connected to my emotions, I was shutting them out. And this was also a part of why I was depressed, because I was depressing my emotions. I was stuffing them down and not feeling them. And they would come out. They would come out in covert ways. Like I would be passive aggressive, or I would be reactive to when my mum made a comment on my body, or I would go and binge eat. And so once I started healing all of that, I was using my body to guide me on how to nourish myself. I don't have to use willpower to force myself to eat well or force myself to go to the gym, because my body naturally desires the feeling of going to move my body or to eat well. And I still eat chocolates, and chips are actually my favorite treat food. I eat cakes at birthdays. I eat out with my friends, and I never feel guilty. I never feel like I need to compensate by working out or restricting my calories, because I feel balanced in my body. I feel nourished in my body. I'm not only eating clean things. I know that life is about balance. Life is about balancing health and pleasure. That is why I feel so grounded and so connected to my body. That is why my body is my bestie, ride or die now. That is why I feel so confident and self-assured in myself and in my life, even if things aren't exactly how I want it to be, nor will it ever be exactly. I burnt out and burned down my business, my first business, a couple of years ago, and I'm just rebuilding it now. And I have the confidence to rebuild it and to keep going, to pick myself up and keep going now, because I'm so connected to my body. I hope you can understand what I'm conveying here, that this connection to my body isn't just helping me with my physical health, but also with my mental health, my emotional health, my business, my relationships. Everything in my life has gotten better because of this connection with my body. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing now. Even if some of my posts get 3 likes, and it's me, myself, and I of my other accounts, I will keep going, because I know that this work is important, and I know that this work is transformative, and I want more people to have this relationship with their bodies and with themselves, that they feel so empowered and confident and self-assured that they don't need external validation. They don't need to be a certain size to feel comfortable in their bodies. They don't need to yo-yo diet for years trying to be healthier. Because once you heal your relationship with your body, you will find the path to better health, to better relationships, to a better career, to greater purpose in your life. Truly, that is what I believe. So, I feel like I just rambled on for I don't know how long. And I hope that has been a very helpful ramble for you, and an inspiring one. No matter where you are on your journey with intuitive eating, with your body right now, it is possible to heal your relationship with your body and with food, and to be able to eat well intuitively, and to become besties with your body. Because if you told me at 15 that I just needed to listen to my body, I would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? But over time, step by step, I started reconnecting with my body, and I started discovering more and more how wise and intelligent and incredible it is. And you can do that too. I hope this has been helpful for you, and you have learned something. Please let me know in the comments what stood out to you the most, what you learned from this, what your takeaway is, and if you'll do any of those 3 steps. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll chat very soon.